Right. So in our last video, we replaced the tips on my cues. I put a Kamui, K-A-M-U-I, medium on my normal playing shaft, and I put a soft on my spare shaft so I could check them out. And today, I'm going to start out just by hitting a few balls with them, kind of warming up, just throwing balls on the table and hitting them, so that I can see how those tips play. According to the manufacturer, those tips play slightly harder than their rating when they're compared to Mori tips, which were the standard for a long time. I played with the previous tips were Mori medium hards, and they were about close to 15 years old, so they had hardened up a little bit more than where they started. So these are a Kamui, I'm going to call it, and if anybody knows the correct pronunciation, that'd be great. I'm going to start out with these Kamui tips. I'm just going to give you my opinion. There's really not a scientific way of doing this without a mechanical arm that has an exact stroke every time and where you can dial the exact English every time. So this is a perception thing, and I'm just going to give you my general feedback on these tips, and then I'm going to play the Ghost. That's really all I've got on the agenda for today. So I'm going to tell you now, I don't know that, I don't notice that much difference between this and my Mori. Maybe a hair's difference, but the Mori was old, so I don't know that that would even be measurable. It's certainly not enough to make me adjust the way I shoot. So that's the good news is I'm going to be able to shoot the same way I always did, and expect the same results. Holding the chalk well, spin is coming out just like I expected to. Shots aren't, but that's not the tip's fault. Stun shot worked just like it's supposed to. Top's the same. Accuracy wise, it seems about the same. So, as advertised, the medium plays just like my medium hard did. There's a lot of people who have reviewed these tips and who have said things like, I can get insane spin that I never could before, or this tip is making me more accurate. Well, That may be true. My impression based on just playing this for a few minutes, actually I was mistaken. This is the soft. This is the soft tip. And it seems to play just like my medium hard did. Remember, I had the shaft that had the lacquer still on it was the one that had the medium. This is the soft. Okay, so that was the soft tip. And I really couldn't tell the difference between it and my Mori medium hard at all. It is true that the soft tip should give you more English and less control because there's more of the surface touching it, so you have to hit them a little harder. I don't see a difference. No difference at all that's noticeable. They feel the same, the feedback is the same. They both are putting about what I expect on them. If there is a difference, it's minor. It's really, really minor. The one thing I do notice though is the soft tip did hold the chalk a little better. Aside from that, I'm really not seeing a difference here. For me, I would probably play with the soft most of the time, just because it's holding the chalk better. But as far as the hit, the feedback, as far as the way it feels, and the way that the cue ball's moving, it's, I have to tell you, I'd be hard pressed if you gave me 3 shafts with the 3 different tips, the 2 Kamuis and my old Mori, and you dyed the Mori black so that it looked the same. I don't know that I'd be able to tell the difference. I could pick up any one of the 3 and I would play pretty much the same. I will certainly give more feedback after I've had the opportunity to play with them for a bit longer. But my initial impressions, it's a tip. It's a laminated tip. It hits like a laminated tip. I just don't see any difference. So with that, I'm going to move on to playing the Ghost.